Hello everyone and welcome back to the restoration of the Telefunken Operette. We are getting closer and closer to the end. As you see, I assembled the entire front of the radio here. And yeah, I think we should go ahead now with aligning the radio. But before we do that, I have also a short update on the cabinet. So yeah, let me show you that one first. So as you see, the cabinet has been reassembled, and yeah, I am really pleased with the result here. Everything is looking quite nice. Here, the piece that was missing here turned out pretty okay. It's not perfect as you see, but yeah, it's better than it was, obviously. Um, Yeah, also the grill cloth is not perfect, but way better than it was. I'm also pleased with that. And also the side speakers here, the cloth of the side speakers are also turned out pretty good. Obviously, there is now a slightly different tone in the cloth here between, but yeah, okay, doesn't really matter that much. Um, So yeah, the cabinet looks great according to me, and I can't wait till I can put the radio completely back together. Um, so yeah, I think it's best now to continue with the alignment so that we can finish this project. So okay, back to the chassis. You see I have the radio running here and it's working quite well actually, but I gotta do the alignment. Um, As you see, I assembled the entire front here. I assembled the glass plate and also the diffuser that we have here, the light diffuser and the pointers and this whole mechanism here inside. And it was quite a bit of a challenge to get everything fit together. I had to actually look up my own videos quite a bit to see how everything fit together originally. But yeah, it took me a bit of time, but I managed to get it all on there. I also put some new foam here on the sides to hold the glass plate in place. So I think everything is fine, and I think everything should be working right now and should be ready to align. Yeah, just before we start with the alignment, let me show you how the radio is sounding right now, because on FM it's actually already quite okay. See, oh, this is the FM.
Richting Rome. Met de auto is het bijna 1500 kilometer.
So yeah, sensitivity and volume and everything and quality of the sound on FM, it's already quite okay. So we're not gonna have to do a lot of alignment. I think it is a bit, the pointer is not completely correct with the scale here, so we'll have to check that. For the AM, however, it's a different story. There, yeah, let's put it in a long wave, for example. See, I do receive something. This is BBC, but yeah, I'm on full volume now. So I don't know. I think we're missing something here, or at least the volume is very low. Not sure. I know. I understand what's going on here, but yeah, let's start with the alignment of AM and see if we can get some improvements here. But before we do that, there is first two things I want to check. First of all, I'm gonna check the voltages of the B plus, because remember I haven't replaced the rectifier, and yeah, it's getting warm, but not that it's really hot, just slightly warm. I'm gonna check the B plus and see if it is acceptable. And if we can leave it like it is, because right now we have all the tubes in, we also have a new magic eye, so this is really the moment to check now. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then second thing which I'm also gonna do is something here related to the resistor that got overheated a bit earlier in the restoration. We're gonna check if that one is still okay, or if there isn't too much current flowing through. But let's first start with the B plus. Okay, so we have the B plus here, 255, and I don't think it's in the screen, but you see in the back there, here on the dim bulb, that the radio is receiving 237 volts at the moment, and it's set for 240, so that's close enough. And then the B plus, according to the schematic, should be 266, and we are getting 255 and a half. So we are 11 volts off, which is not that bad, actually. And the second B plus is 223, more or less. And according to the schematic, it should be 229. Yeah, especially considering that I'm now sending 237 volts to the radio and not 240. This is quite okay, yeah. And it's the same thing that as I measured in the beginning of the project. The rectifier is still acceptable. I mean, it's not perfect. It's getting also a bit warm, but it's acceptable at the moment still. So I don't think I'm gonna change it. It's working pretty well. Now there is a second thing I want to check, and that is this resistor over here. So this is a 1K 2 watt resistor, which basically drops the B plus, which comes in over here from the 266 volts. It drops it to 229. So here I'm now measuring the second B plus, and this is getting quite warm. If the radio is, see, it's too hot to touch at the moment. So it's getting quite warm, and it overheated earlier in the project. If you haven't seen the video, I think it was in video number 2 or number 3 that it overheated, and that's what these burn marks are from. So what I am gonna do is I'm gonna check how much current is going here through this resistor. And then we're gonna determine, is there too much current going through here? And if there is, we have an issue somewhere. If there is not, then it's just the resistor who is getting hot, and then I think I'm gonna replace the resistor. See here on the schematic, so that's this resistor over here, and there should be 37 milliamps of current going through. So we're gonna measure that here. So as you see, I detached here the resistor, and I put my multimeter in series here with the resistor, so that I can on the side of the second B plus, so on the lower side, so the current, so where the voltage is already dropped to 229, so I can measure the current flowing through here, and this is my multimeter measuring the current. So according to the schematic, we should have 37 milliamps here. So let's have a look. Current is building up. 31 and a half, 32. FM is working. It's still building up. Yeah, it depends a bit on if you are tuned into a station or not, but it's around 34 milliamps, which is pretty close again. So everything seems healthy actually. I think I'm gonna replace that resistor because I don't like the fact that it's getting so hot. Obviously, it still works, but I'm gonna replace it with a new 5 watt resistor just to keep it nice and cool. See, we're now at 34 and a half. I'm just gonna leave it running for a bit like this, see if it doesn't creep up, and if it doesn't, then I'm just going to replace the resistor. Okay, so the resistor has been replaced and everything is still fine. I'm measuring the second B plus here. It's actually even a bit closer to 229. So now we get 226, 227. Yeah, and this one here, it's also getting warm, but I can easily keep holding it like this. It doesn't get too warm. If I would have done this with the other resistor, I would have burned my fingers. So this one, yeah, I'll keep it with the parts that came out of the radio. So I normally keep all the parts that I replace out of a radio. You'll never know. It's nice to have it still, but I think it's good that I replaced it with the new one. Okay, I think basically we are now completely ready to start the alignment. And I'm gonna start with aligning the AM, I think. Now, in general, I like to start with aligning the AM on the radio, which I haven't worked on yet, because then if something goes wrong or if I misjudge how I need to work with these coils, then I break the AM and then I know what to do before aligning the FM. I've been looking online, but I haven't found any alignment instructions for this particular model for the Operette 6, but I did find alignment instructions for the Operette 7, which are over here. And the chassis, which is in the Operette 7, seems to be exactly the same one as here in the Operette 6. So these instructions also apply, so I'm gonna follow those. What is weird is that the schematic, which is provided with the instructions for the Operette 7, this one, it's missing some things. I mean, it's not that they are probably not on the Operette 7, that it's just some yeah, things missing on the schematic, things which are even referenced here in the alignment instructions. So I'm not going to use that schematic, I'm going to use the schematic of the Operette 6 and these alignment instructions over here. So let me set everything up and then we can start the AM alignment. Okay, so I have everything set up here. I have the radio running on medium wave. I have my scope connected to the output. And I have the alignment instructions over here. And let us see what they tell us to do. So first we're gonna start with aligning the IF. And we're gonna start with the second IF stage. So they tell us to put the signal generator on 460 kilohertz, which is the IF frequency of the radio. We're gonna modulate the tone on it, maybe like 800 hertz or something. And they tell us to put the radio on around 800 kilohertz, which is somewhere in the middle of the dial glass, so in the middle of the tuning on medium wave. Doesn't really matter, they just tell us put it somewhere in the middle. Then we are going to connect the signal generator. They tell us to connect it over a 10k picofarad capacitor. On the grid, Steuergitter is the grid. So on the grid of tube 3, the EF89, pin 2. So that's what I did over here. I connected the signal generator here to, yeah, this was easier to connect it over here. This is a pin on the switchboard, but it's basically the same as pin 2 of the EF89. And I connected my scope over here, which is on the output of the volume control. And yeah, I am already doing this, so I already am sending a signal of 800 Hertz on a modulation of 460 kilohertz. And if I turn up the volume, see, we're getting a nice clear signal. Now, I'm gonna turn it down again a bit. What are we gonna do? We're gonna align 205 and 204 for a maximum. So those are here on the schematic. So this is the EF89. And here you have the coils 204 and 205. Okay, so I put my camera on ultra wide, so then you can follow along a bit, because you probably will see me adjusting here, and you can also follow along on the scope here. They say 205 and 204. 205 is this one over here. Now there is quite a bit of wax, so I need to clear out the wax first. See, just a tip, when you're doing this, do this at least at room temperature. Definitely not when it's too cold in your workshop, because then the wax will be quite difficult to remove, because it's quite hard, and you might more easily break something. Yeah, this is really a lot of wax, and I hope that I can get in there. Okay, I think I got it. Let me turn up the volume. Oh wow. Whoa. Okay, there is a huge gain here. Ah, there we have the maximum, I think. Okay. There was quite a bit of gain on that one, even though all the wax was still in there. That's hopeful for the AM, the volume on AM that we're missing. Now the 204 is the same one, but on the top side, so I have to get to the other side of the radio for that. Okay, we actually also got quite a bit of gain on that stage as well. So let's see what's next. Okay, this step is done. Next step, which is the first IF stage. So the signal generator stays the same. The only thing I did is I dropped the amplitude quite a bit. Because now we are going to attach the signal generator to the grid of the ECH81, so tube 2, which is also pin 2. So that's one stage ahead, so you should drop the signal quite a bit compared to step 1. And then we're gonna adjust can or coil 20 and 19, again for a maximum. Okay, so that's what I did. I attached here the signal generator to the ECH81. I'm supplying a signal, and yeah, it's getting in. And I do get quite a bit of hum. So I think maybe the low amplitude in AM might have something to do with the antenna, but let's check that one later. First, let's see if we can gain a bit here by adjusting this stage. So first we need to adjust 20, which is over here. And again, quite a bit of wax. I think I got it. Yeah, definitely. Look at that. That's our peak. And the 19, it's again the opposite one, so on the top of the radio. Ah, I think I finally got it. Yeah. Whoa. Let me... Whoa, lots of gain. Let me drop now again the amplitude of the signal generator, because Okay, wow, we got a lot of gain out of that one as well. Okay, these two are done. Next step is adjusting the oscillator, and we're gonna start with shortwave. And they say Kurzwellenlupe. Now, I had no idea what this was. I had to look it up, and it's band spread. So they say here that you should put the band spread in the middle of the dial scale. I didn't even know that this radio has a band spread. And then I noticed on the dial class, see over here, KV Lupe, which is the band spread. So then I realized that when you're on shortwave, so this is your indicator for shortwave, the bottom one is for FM, but when you're on shortwave, then the bottom one acts as a band spread. So see, you can just tune into a station like this. For example, let's say I tune into, well, this one here in the 31 meter band over here. Then with the FM one, I can fine tune the tuning. I will show it later when AM is working, okay? But basically the FM tuning dial works as a band spread on this radio, which is very nice, very cool. I have never seen this before. But yeah, okay. It's also quite ingenious that you can really add a band spread function without having to add any hardware. Just reuse the the FM dial. So I'm putting the band spread here in the center on 0, and the shortwave is on 17.8. Let me see. Yeah, 17.8. So you see the small indicator over there. The dial doesn't have frequency, it has meters, but this is the 17.8. And my frequency generator is generating a tone of 17.8 megahertz with a 400 hertz tone modulated on it. And the scope is monitoring the output as usual. So let's see what we get. Nothing. Okay. Let's see if we can find it. There is something there. There as well. That's weird. So I need to adjust F, and F is that one over there. Oh, that's well stuck. I need to break the seal first with a metal screwdriver, but okay. Yeah, that's completely on the dial. The weird thing is that, see, I get it twice. Here it's even louder. See, let me show you now how the band spread is working. See, I have now the dial pointed exactly at 17.8, and I'm just turning up the volume a bit so you can hear what's happening. If I now use the band spread with the FM dial, see, and you can still see that it's not perfectly in the center. Okay, so now let's do the second one. That's 6.2 megahertz. So I put the dial all the way to the left on the indicator, band spread in the middle, and the signal generator on 7.2 megahertz. Oh, it's pretty far to the right. And there it is again, 2 times. If somebody can explain me why it shows up 2 times, that would be nice. But I'm just gonna take the leftmost one, and I'm gonna pull that to the left. I need to adjust core 12, which is that one over here. There's a lot of wax inside here, and the core is quite deep, so I have to remove all the wax. So yeah, I removed the wax here a bit. So this is the core for the shortwave. That's the one for the medium wave, and that's the long wave. And as you see, the cores in here, they are yeah, solid. I mean, there is no place to put your screwdriver in there. So I was thinking, how the hell do I adjust this? Do I maybe need to change the position of the core itself? See, then I realized this one will probably work. So you can just put it in there and that should do the trick. Alright, so I finally managed to find something to adjust this core here, but yeah, I'll show you later. I'm first gonna adjust it. See, it's moving slowly, but it's moving really slowly, but it is working. See, what I did is I took here the cap of a pliers and I basically cut it shorter and shorter until I was able to fit it over the coil, because my two tools that I had, one was too large and the other one was too small. So I had to figure something out, and I think it's still a bit too large. So let me just cut it a bit more. Ah, no, it's not working anymore. But only in one direction. See? This core is really a pain in the butt to adjust. See, I'm creeping along very slowly to the left, but I am getting there. And now it's stuck, it doesn't go farther than this. So I don't manage to move this core any further to the left. I'm still about 1.5 centimeters away from the indicator here, and I'm just gonna leave it. I spent like an hour or so trying to get this coil moving. I managed to get it moving up until this point, and I'm gonna leave it like it is. I'm not gonna risk breaking it or yeah, screwing up completely the shortwave. So I'll just have to live with the fact that it's a bit off. So the only thing I'm gonna do now is check again the other side. So the 17.8 megahertz again. Yeah, that one has moved a bit, so we'll have to adjust F, and F was this guy over here. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so next is medium wave. It's basically the same procedure, except obviously you have to put in 1.45 megahertz, then 600 kilohertz, and then again 1.45 megahertz, and you have to adjust G and 14, and then we'll do long wave, 200 kilohertz, and you'll have to adjust 15. So yeah, 1.45 megahertz, modulation on, putting it on medium wave. Yeah, same thing, that one is also quite a bit off. So medium wave went a bit better. The left side, so with the 600 kilohertz and adjustment 14, that's this one, this guy over here. That guy, my tool did fit, so I could easily adjust that one. So the left side was okay. The right side, however, I had to adjust G, and G is this, I think it's a capacitor over here, and yeah, I don't get it even nearly close. So we'll see, maybe I can adjust it when I'm adjusting the front end, but yeah, this one I won't even get it nearly close. So the long wave, however, long wave is did go quite well because that's this guy over here, and that also my tool fitted perfectly on there. So yeah, put it perfectly on 200, and then here adjust for maximum. And that's done. Now, what you do see still, I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera, let me... What you do see still is that I do get a bit of capping, see? See, here, on top. Not sure yet what that is. I swapped out the EL84, the EABC80, the EF89, didn't make a difference. So yeah, I'll just go further through the alignment and then we'll see if it's still there. Okay, so since my dial and everything is still quite off, I'm gonna go ahead with the front end alignment. Normally I try to avoid this because if the dial is quite close, I'd skip the front end alignment, but this time I'm gonna do it anyway. So we're starting again with shortwave. First 17.8, adjust D, then 7.2, adjust 2, and then 17.8 again to adjust D. And that's those two guys over here. So that's D and that's 2. So again, shortwave 17.8, modulation on, and we're gonna put the shortwave here, band spread on 0, 17.8. Okay, I'm getting all these weird noises here, so I'm not sure how to proceed here with the front end. So I'm just gonna try and align here the trap, the IF trap. See if that helps. So I'll put the signal generator on 460 and we adjust 10, which is this guy over here, for the minimum. Yeah, see, the sound that comes out is really weird. I'm putting here in a modulated tone of 400 Hz and it's really weird. I'm just gonna try to adjust here the AF trap and see if that helps. Yeah, again, this AF trap is this hexagonal shaped core, which is quite annoying. But this time I managed to adjust it with my soldering pump. So I tuned it a bit, and yeah, now see, if I put the signal generator on the antenna, I get a nice clean signal. I also don't have this distortion anymore here. So I think there was something wrong here with the adjustment of the IF trap. So yeah, we're gonna restart now with the shortwave. So shortwave 17.8 megahertz. See, there is still something definitely wrong here in the shortwave section, I think. See, it's still not completely as it should be, I think. Let's adjust D, and D is this guy. So yeah, I don't really know what is going on here. The thing is that on the other bands everything seems fine. Also on the lower half of the shortwave band. So if I switch to 7.2 megahertz, and then if I go all the way to the left, see, it's much better. Okay, there is still not a lot of volume, but there is not these weird sounds. So, and on medium wave, if I go to 1.45 megahertz, see, there it's working more as it should. I think there is something wrong with shortwave, but I don't have a clue what it is. I need to study it a bit further, I think. Yeah, so I think that's all the progress I can make so far on the AM. Now let's do the alignment of the FM. Okay, so then the FM alignment. Now the procedure that is described here is clearly aimed at you not having a frequency generator available which can do FM modulation. See, because they are always saying here unmodulated 10.7 megahertz, which is the IF unmodulated, and they're then measuring the output with a voltmeter to see that you get the highest voltage. So this is, yeah, obviously we can do this easier. We can just use a modulator, for example, for the IF frequency here, we can just use a 10.7 modulated signal and then use a maximum output on the scope. So I was attempting to do this, the alignment of the demodulator, the detector, but I was not able to get a decent S-curve on the scope, so I first did the IF alignment, and that went pretty well and also quite quick. So I just put a 10.7 megahertz signal modulated on the frequency generator, and then I adjusted 18 and 17, so that is that guy over there. Wait, so that is that guy over there, all the way in the back, and the same one on the other side of the radio, and that went quite well, and also was quite easy to do. And then I went back to the ratio detector and see, now at least I have something which resembles an S-curve. So we're gonna take this as a starting point to align the detector. Yeah, that's too far. Let's put it perfectly in the middle. And then let's adjust the other one. No, that's not good. See, so this is not heading in the right direction. This is better. What does worry me a bit is that it's not going really steep, not very high on this side. And it doesn't seem that it is, maybe I can do it like this. And then yeah, this is actually not bad. So this is a bandwidth of 1 megahertz. So FM is, what is it, 150 kilohertz wide or something. So it can be better. It's not completely symmetrical and it's not completely linear. So So yeah, I guess the Telefunken engineers are smarter than me. Obviously not a surprise. But I just spent like more than an hour or so getting a decent S-curve out of this radio and failing miserably. So every time that I think I got an S-curve, which looks a bit like it should, and I switch to the FM radio, it sounds completely distorted. So in the end, I just tried, okay, let's just follow the instructions here as they are printed. And in like 5 minutes or so, I had everything working perfectly. And still, if I put on the S-curve here, see, it's not really an S-curve, huh? I don't understand. I mean, to me, this doesn't look like a decent S-curve at all. But yet, yeah, still the radio is sounding good, sounding fine. So yeah, I now connected my signal generator to one tube backwards in the lineup, and see now I do get something which resembles more like an S-curve. So let me just experiment a bit with this, and I think I might be able to get it perfectly aligned now. Next step in the FM alignment procedure, um, again a step in the IF. So we're gonna send in a 10.7 megahertz signal, loosely coupled on the ECC 85, and we're gonna adjust 112 and 111 for a maximum. So see here I loosely coupled the signal to the ECC 85. Okay, and now also the one here at the bottom. That one is quite difficult to reach. Ah, that's interesting, because see, if I put it here, then I have a slight bit of distortion on the signal. Like this, it's not really a peak, but there is no distortion, so I'm going to put it like this. This is theoretically the peak, but this is the best sine wave, so I'm gonna leave it at that. Alright, now the RF alignment, well, it's a bit out of sync, so see, so this station over here should be normally at 99.9, so let's say at 100, so it should be like over there somewhere. So it is a bit out of tune, this one. This one should be at 97.9. Let me see if I can get it correctly tuned. Yeah, this one should be at 97.9, so it's a bit out of tune. Now I think I'm going to align it anyway, but I still would like to catch a station which here is at 101.4. So yeah, we'll see if I can still catch that. If I can't, then I'll adapt it anyway. So first I'm gonna make sure that everything is in line with the dial, and then we'll see afterwards if I'll adapt it or not. The only issue, however, is that I don't have a signal generator which can go to 94 megahertz. So what I'm gonna do is, I know that this station has to be at 99.9, and I'm just gonna see here if I can move it a bit by adjusting here the oscillator. See, so I'm just going to adjust it slightly, and then I'm going to follow it along the dial here and get it to 100. Okay, I'm turning in the wrong direction. See, I'm following it along. I'm almost there, actually.
Wouters eigenhandig is
Voilà.
beren heeft verjaagd. Hoe vertelde ze?
It's there.
Ze kan je mij daar heel weinig over vertellen dat ze...
Just before 100. I'm gonna leave it like that. Let's see if the rest is okay. Yeah, this is more or less fine. It's not perfect, I think. But it's better than it was. And let's see if I can still pick up the 101.4. Right at the end. So I'm just gonna tune it a bit back just to be sure that I can pick it up decently. I'm gonna put it over here. Great. Yeah, so now this is the last station I can pick up, 101.4. Great, and the 99.9 is now, yeah, let's say at 99.7 on the dial, which is perfectly acceptable. So for the rest, I'm not gonna do any alignment on the RF, so the dial is okay as I like it to be. So yeah, I think that's the FM alignment done. Yep, I put the chassis back into the cabinet, and I must say the result is there. I mean, it looks really, really pretty. It was still quite a bit of a challenge because I forgot how I had to connect the speakers, so and I made a couple of mistakes first, but then yeah, I managed to figure it out, and it's working quite well now. There are only a couple of things left to do. First of all, Bluetooth. I still need to add a Bluetooth receiver. Second, figuring out the shortwave, because there is still something wrong with the shortwave, especially on the right hand side of the band here on the shortwave. It's not working really good. It's making some weird noises like you heard during the alignment, and also it's very, very silent. If I just use the internal ferrite antenna on shortwave, I don't get anything, so I need to connect a external antenna, and even then it's still very weak. So there is an issue still on shortwave that I have to figure out. And then here, see, this brass covering plate here on the knob is missing, so I have to find a new knob or a new covering plate. But that's basically it, yeah. Light in your head and dead on your feet. These days look dark. Alone. But I think I'm gonna leave it like this here in this video, and then we'll get the rest done and the demo in the next video. I don't know yet when I will be able to upload the next video on this project, because it really depends a bit on the issue with shortwave, how long it will take to figure out what's wrong there. But I do have some other things in mind that I am that I want to share on the channel here. So anyway, thanks for watching. I am very happy with the results so far, and I hope you enjoyed the series so far. So if you liked the series here, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and then I hope I'll see you in the next one. So take care, bye bye.